Welcome back. Welcome back. Your man, Dominic K, in here. Dominic K in the morning on the all-new radioonfire.com. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Monday to everybody. It is the start of a new week. Over the weekend, there was the 20th anniversary of the terrible 9/11 attacks in New York and in various places around the country. Just, whenever we come to this time of the year, I just think back to what I was doing 9/11. And at that time, I was managing a record store. So this particular day, 9/11 in 2001, was also the day that Jay-Z's Blueprint album came out. So we were excited about that big release, and we're selling music, preparing all that kind of stuff. And social media wasn't popping like it is. I had a radio on in the back of the store. I was in the front of the store, was not really listening to it. But as folks were coming in to the store, they were asking, did you hear about what happened, different things like that. And so many people kept saying it that I go to the back of the store and I turn on the radio and I hear obviously what happened. I had to turn a TV on in the store, and we start to see the aftermath of what happened at 9/11. Eventually, they closed the mall. So this is a Mondawmin Mall in Baltimore. So they closed the mall, and people were just outside, and it was just surreal. Cell phone service wasn't really working. Like, a lot of people were calling, and towers were flooded. And, of course, I get home. It took a long time to get home. And, you turn on the TV and you're seeing folks literally jumping out of the window of the building. Just a terrible time. Definitely before 9/11, 2001, after, there was a significant change. Obviously, the way we moved around at the airport, the way a lot of things happened, and we obviously went into a 20-year war. There was a search for the people that they charged with committing this atrocity, and a whole lot of things. So every year around this time, you just think back to the loss of life, the senseless loss of life. And for people that are old enough, where you were when that happened, where you were that time in your life. So that was a milestone that was reached over the weekend. 9/11, 20 years. Does not seem like 20 years. My goodness. But 20 years it is. And every year that goes by, when I reflect on it, it was just a crazy time. And, we definitely do not want to forget that. Here on the program, we deliver the biggest political and trending news stories of the day with interviews and original reporting from Atlanta, Baltimore, and across the country. Show is fun, show is upbeat, but I really want to expose what is really happening in this country. Radio on Fire is Black voices giving you the American story. New episodes drop Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., but I don't want you to miss any of our live broadcasts. In addition to our 8 a.m. program, we drop content throughout the day as news happens. Hit that notification bell so you get an alert whenever we go live. It is Diamond K in the morning on the all-new radioonfire.com. Welcome back. Diamond K in the morning, all-new radioonfire.com. The show, wherever you get your podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google, WRF Radio. You can get the program there on the WRF Radio app. You can simply download WRF Radio in your app store. Leave me a comment, scroll your timeline, attend a Zoom meeting on mute, do some online shopping, all while listening to Diamond K in the morning. Also on youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. So, I mean, I hate stories like this. I really do. I hate stories like this. In Baltimore, this aunt and uncle, right? These losers charged with the murder of a 15-year-old boy. So this man and woman right here have been charged with manslaughter and murder after their 15-year-old nephew was found dead during a call for possible child abuse. These are low lives. Baltimore police said that officers responded on January the 26th to an area hospital for the report of possible child abuse. So whenever they get these types of calls or this type of activity in the hospital, they reach out to the police, as they should. So once at the location, officers located Hezekiah Hedaford, 15 years old, and unfortunately, the young man was unresponsive and being treated by the medical professionals. So the victim's condition was one that was reminiscent of abuse. So these officers notified homicide and child abuse detectives. They come. So this is back in January. So in January 28th is when this happened. Young Pettiford died from his injuries. So the victim's remains transported to the examiner's office, and they determined the cause of death, ruled it as a homicide by blunt force trauma. This was done back in March 17th to be exact. So as this is progressing, these losers, these murderers, these pieces of crap thought they got away with it because, time has passed. Time had passed. So finally, August 30th, an arrest warrant was issued for the victim's aunt and uncle, 32-year-old Stephanie Colin and 44-year-old Dion Ball Sr. So the warrant, detectives arrested both of them on September the 10th, transported them to Central Booking Intake, where they were charged with the murder and manslaughter. We're going to continue to keep you posted on this. This is just the worst type of crime. These adults, blunt force trauma to this child, 15 years old, life snatched away before he even got started. Only 15 years old. 15 years old. So we're definitely going to keep you posted on this. I said it before. I hate stories like this. Hate stories like this. Of course, we're going to take a quick break. Come back right after this. Welcome back, Diamond K in the morning, sponsored by Flyers on Fire. If you need a flyer created, Flyers on Fire can design your quality digital flyer in 24 hours. Are you promoting something on social media? Flyers on Fire can help brand your message with a quality flyer. Visit them on Instagram at Flyers on Fire. So your man Diamond K back in here, Diamond K in the morning on the all-new radioonfire.com. And, I like to go through some of the news stories of the day. And we are here many times throughout the day. This is not just a one-time thing. I am following news stories. In addition to this program, we have a lot of other original programs here at Radio on Fire. And I have a whole lineup to run down to folks, and we're going to do that. North Korea says that it tested a new long-range cruise missile. Said this today, that it successfully completed this. Tested a newly developed long-range cruise missile over the weekend. The first known testing in months underscores how the country continues to expand its military capabilities amid the stalemate in nuclear negotiations with the United States. So the state-run Korean Central News Agency reported that the missiles showed it can hit targets 1,500 kilometers. That's about 930 miles away. Saturday and Sunday they did that. North Korea hailed its new missiles as a strategic weapon of great significance, wording that implies they were developed with the intent to arm them with nuclear warheads. Not necessarily good news. North Korea says that it needs nuclear weapons in order to deter what it claims to be hostility from America and from South Korea, and has long attempted to use the threat of such an arsenal to get much needed economic aid, or otherwise they just want to apply some pressure. So the North and their ally China faced off against South Korea and America and led UN forces back in the Korean War many, many years ago in the 50s. And that conflict ended in a truce that has yet to be replaced with an official peace treaty. I guess technically this war is still going on. So I want to keep you posted on that. It's just amazing that this is still going on after all this time. Tomika in the Morning is sponsored by Tasty Moscato. If you could pour sexy in a glass, this would be it. This smooth, seductive Moscato wine blended with vanilla takes your palate to a whole nother level of taste meat. Unlike most, Tasty Moscato can be deliciously paired with a variety of meats, cheeses, veggies, as well as desserts. It's the sweet taste of luxury that you've been craving. Visit Tasty Moscato. Search them on Facebook. That is Tasty Moscato. So we are, I guess, closing out of the summer and heading into the fall. And for kids young kids in New York City, this is the start of the school year. 1 million New York kids amid the new vaccine rules. About 1 million New York public school students went back today. This is the nation's largest experiment in-person learning during the coronavirus pandemic. The start of school year coincides with several milestones in the city's pandemic recovery, all hinging on vaccine mandates. All hinging on that. Vaccine mandates. So the nearly all of the city's 300,000 employees will be required to be back in their workplaces in person today. The city is ending remote work. Most will either need to be vaccinated or undergo weekly COVID-19 testing to keep their jobs. The city was also set to start enforcing rules requiring workers and patrons to be vaccinated indoors at restaurants, museums, gyms, and entertainment venues. The vaccine requirement has been in place for weeks, but has not actually been enforced. So now they're going to enforce it. There will also be a vaccine mandate with no test options, no test out, none of that. Vaccine or you don't have a job for teachers, though they have been given until the 27th of this month to get their first shot. So some school districts across the country are still offering online instruction. New York is not doing that at all. So families that prefer it, New York officials say that there will be no remote option despite the persistence of the highly transmissible Delta variant of COVID-19. New York kept schools open for most of the last school year, with some students doing a mix of remote and in-person instruction. Most people feel that in-person instruction does not give students that full experience. So you have that. So you have some folks that say we need to be back in school. Some folks say I'm scared for my child and but I don't want my child to be left behind and not get the instruction that they need. So you have that whole thing. So Mayor de Blasio says that our kids need to be in school, and it's unbelievable that some kids haven't seen the inside of a classroom for a year and a half. Mayor said this: there are massive consequences to that, including healthcare consequences. The healthiest, best place for kids to be is in school. Oh, but let's keep in mind that these young kids can't get the vaccine and can still transmit it. And then they wonder why this is spreading around. Like, whatever. A mask will be required for all students and staff members, as is the case in schools across New York State. So we continue to follow this, and hopefully this works out. I'm really ready to have this pandemic behind us, as most of you are as well. It is something we've been dealing with, and a lot of folks have different takes on it, different takes on how we need to combat it, but we have to wear a mask. And one thing that frustrates me is some in the mainstream media, some in government, act like folks that do not want to get the vaccine, like something's wrong with them, like they're crazy or something, right? I think that you need to be respectful of the fact that everybody is not willing to just free willy-nilly inject something in their body. And how dare you question what's being put in your body or want to take some time with it, considering the fact that it came so quickly. And they'll point to all kinds of things. They'll point to, you took the vaccines before. You don't know what's in other things, and trust us. And there have been so many wrong moves with regards to the rollout of the vaccine. One thing in particular that stands out to me is that when the vaccine started to become readily available and folks started getting it, these same people that are saying, take the vaccine, said that if you get the vaccine, take your mask off, right? Now, mind you, at that time, they thought that these people were immune and were safe and couldn't get it. And so you had this whole thing where folks weren't wearing masks because the same people that are telling you to take the vaccine told you if you have the vaccine, take your mask off, right? So you have all these people congregating. The virus starts spreading around, and of course, it's new, and they don't know the fact that vaccinated folks can still pass it, get it, and all that. So then the numbers start ticking up, and then they're confused. Wow, it must be the people that are not vaccinated that are causing this tick. It's everybody that's causing it. It's vaccinated folks. It's unvaccinated folks, because the vaccine does not prevent you from passing the virus on. So while it may minimize some of your symptoms, it still is traveling around. And so that comes back, bringing me full circle. Masking is important. And so the way that mainstream media paints folks who don't want to get the vaccine is like all folks who don't want to get the vaccine or not comfortable or what they call vaccine hesitant, all of them, are not on some, I'm not wearing a mask. Some of them are wearing a mask. Most of them are wearing masks. They're just not ready to get the vaccine. And I don't think that point gets made enough. They just put this image out there like, if you don't want the vaccine, that you're just one of these people that don't want to do anything. And that's not true. There's another box of folks who are not necessarily ready to get the vaccine, but are wearing their mask and are socially distancing themselves. Now, let's keep in mind, I saw football games over the weekend, 70,000 people in the stands. I don't even know how that's going to go. We're going to see how that goes. Hopefully, all is well with regards to that. So as far as Tomika in the morning, you want to support the program, very easy to do that. I'm able to deliver our news and our views on Tomika in the morning because of our listeners, sponsors, and of course your donations. Tomika in the morning is powered by the people. Visit radioandfire.com to make a donation or join the VIP club. Also, we got some other things I want to dive into before we do that. Tomika in the morning is brought to you in part by jstovabeauty.com. I want to talk directly to my ladies out there. As you say goodbye to the summer and get ready for the fall, get all of your must-have beauty products from jstoverbeauty.com. They have quality wigs, Indian hair extensions, virgin hair extensions, professional hair care products, edge control, flat iron mist, mink eyelashes, satin wig bags, wax sticks, lace concealer, lace tint, and so much more. jstoverbeauty.com also does custom wig making, maintenance, and revamp services. You can check them out on social media. J Stover Beauty on Instagram, J Stover Beauty LLC on Facebook. Be a girl with mind, a woman with attitude, and a lady with class. Visit jstoverbeauty.com. And we're going to take a quick break and come back with more of the program after this. Welcome back, Tomika in the Morning on the all-new radioonfire.com. I am so glad to be here. Of course, on social media, I am at the Tomika Show, at Radio on Fire. The 2021 Baltimore Music Awards, streaming November the 4th at 7 p.m. on radioonfire.com. On social media, Baltimore Music Awards. So nominations are open right now. You can cast your nominations in all the categories, radioonfire.com/Baltimore Music Awards, or links are in the bios on social media. This is the 10th annual Baltimore Music Awards, and something that we are doing to help celebrate Baltimore's entertainment community. And we do this every year in November. So definitely let your voices be heard in this 10th annual event. So excited about this, by the way. We've been doing this and just trying to recognize there's a lot of talent here in Baltimore, if you didn't know. And we're going to recognize some of that. Be back right after this. And we are back. Baltimore Music Awards. A lot of folks talking about that online, and you can do that. Baltimore Music Awards on all social media. So back on the program, and if you remember, and I'm sure that you do, the death, murder of one Rayshard Brooks. This happened June of 2020, and this was a national case. It was a just a sad situation here, sad situation. But the estate of Rayshard Brooks is suing the city of Atlanta and the Atlanta Police Department officers. Brooks' widow claims that the officers were intentional about using excessively deadly force and failed to administer medical aid after shooting her husband June of last year. The widow of 27-year-old Rayshard Brooks, you remember, was fatally shot by two Atlanta police officers. She is suing the city for his death, the city of Atlanta and the officers. So you remember this incident. Police recalled when he was found sleeping in his car in the Wendy's drive-thru. Police arrived. They performed a breathalyzer test on Brooks and found that he was over the legal limit to drive. They tried to handcuff Brooks. He tried to run away. After grabbing the taser, Brooks fired the taser at the officer, who then fired his weapon 3 times, killing the married father of 4. So his wife said that the shooting was senseless and unjustified. In the lawsuit that is filed on behalf of the estate. In addition, the lawsuit states that the officers did not provide the necessary medical attention that he needed. So Devin Brosnan, the other officer involved, was also named in this lawsuit because Miller said that he threatened Brooks with the taser without completing a mandatory taser certification course that the department requires. So the lawsuit also implicates, naturally, the city of Atlanta for failure to enforce that its police department adhere to adequate training and the lack of supervision for its officers. So the video recording of Brooks' death made headlines when that was released last summer, mid-June. So several videos captured by body camera footage from the officers at the Wendy restaurants, a surveillance camera, bystander video. There is a police dash cam video. The full 41-minute altercation between Brooks and the officers can be seen from the moment they arrive at 10:42 until his death less than an hour later. This was a sad case, and it caused a lot of pain and anguish in the community. There was a lot going on at that time. But the suit is something that we were expecting. Definitely something that we were expecting. And I don't know how this is going to go. Now, I don't predict there's going to be a big turmoil from this. And I think that the estate is going to win this. But I don't know, it's just a sad situation. I wish he hadn't grabbed the taser. It's just a sad situation. Sad situation. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Of course, I will be back here tomorrow for Diamond K in the morning. You can check us out tonight for the RTV show, 7 p.m., radioonfire.com. And, of course, Father and Son News Show, Connected Corner, and a lot of other programs. Miss any episodes of Diamond K in the Morning, anywhere you get your podcast, however you're hearing this broadcast, just search Diamond K in the Morning, subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, WRF Radio, radioonfire.com, Audio Mac, youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. I'll see you guys tomorrow.